Thank you for joining us 7:28 this evening here on this Tuesday night. We've got another tornado warning here. This is to the west of Crawfordsville. It does include the city of Petersburg, and you can see the hook right here at the edge of the storm. We've got a hail core just to the north of Petersburg here, and we've got the rotation just to the south and west of Petersburg, north of State Road 32, and to the west of US 41. And so let's take a look here, if we will, at the velocity on this storm here. You can see the colors coming together here in this area to the south and west of Petersburg is exactly where we're looking at for this rotation. And so let's specifically take a look here at the tornado warning from the National Weather Service for southwestern Fountain County until 8 o'clock, so another 31 minutes here. So just a few minutes ago, severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Covington, or 15 miles east of Danville, moving east at 15 miles per hour. So we've got a radar indicated rotation here, so possible tornado in this area here to the south and west of Petersburg, and quarter size hail with this storm here. So this is the second tornado warning that we've had here in Indiana this evening. With this is to the west of Crawfordsville. That does include the city of Petersburg. So if you are anywhere between State Road 32 and US 41 and 136 in the Petersburg to Steam Corner area, you need to be taking shelter right now because you've got a tornado warning for you right now for the next 30 minutes. So you need to get to the lowest level. If you got a basement, get to the basement. If no basement there, get to the ground floor and put as many walls between you and the outside of the building as possible. And so getting to take shelter with the storm here. And so the rotation right now is getting close to US 41. It's at West 300 South and in between East 300 South now and East State Street to the south of Petersburg. So this is where the rotation is right now. So 136 and 41. All right, getting to East 300 South with there, going over County Road 30 East right now. And so this is where we're looking at. Let me zoom out just a hair and turn the radar back on so you can get your bearing straight if you're not familiar with the small towns here. Okay, with this. So we've got Lafayette right here. You've got a line of storms getting ready to enter your area here. With that, we'll take a look at that in a second here. All right, here's Crawfordsville. And just to the west here is Petersburg. And so this is where we're seeing the rotation right now. This is radar indicated. Radar indicating you've got a little bit of that hook echo right here, possible inflow here and the outflow here. And so we'll see how this develops over the next several minutes here with this system here. And so looking at the velocity where the reds and greens coming together, you can see it's getting a little bit closer there and closer to Petersburg. So the reds and greens coming together. This is where we've got the rotation right now. And this is why we've got a tornado warning. The tornado warning right now that does include the city of Petersburg. And it looks like this rotation is tightening up. It's getting stronger with, as you can see, with these brighter colors with this. And so I'm going to continue to look for updates here with that. So we could get a tornado at any time. We could get a tornado at any time here with this. The storm that includes White County, so Monticello, Monon, Brookston area, we're seeing 50-mile-per-hour wind gust and pea-size hail with this storm here. And I'm checking here to see if we've gotten any new information. We've got several tornadoes to the south of us. And when I mean the south of us, I'm talking Tennessee, Alabama, area, Mississippi, Louisiana. We've got multiple tornadoes, some very strong tornadoes in progress right now, including a tornado emergency for Huntsville, Alabama. A tornado emergency for Huntsville, Alabama at this second right now. And so that's where a lot of reports are coming in right now. But we're continuing to watch this tornado warning here. That does include the city of Petersburg, getting ready to cross US 41 here. So it said it's moving at about 15 miles per hour. With that, it looks like maybe a little bit faster with that. So this is radar's rotation here. And it's just passing the Petersburg area with this. And so we'll continue to monitor this storm here. So if you're in the Indianapolis area, wondering what's going on, well, you've got some storms developing out to your west here. And so it'll be about another hour or so when these storms, if they fully develop here, we'll get into the Marion County area in about the next 30 minutes into the Hendricks County area. So if you're in those areas there, Lafayette, you're getting ready to get hit by a storm here. You've got a line of storms just to your west over at the Attica area right now. And to the bottom of that line is actually this storm here going through Petersburg. And so the radar update there, we saw a radar update. And so just that Petersburg area, again, this is where we're seeing the rotation here. So we're west of Waynetown, west of Crawfordsville, west of Darlington, all right, west of US 231 here, and to the south and east of Covington. All right, so out US 74 here. So by traveling in this area, we've got a severe storm here that's possibly producing a tornado. So it's radar indicated right now. A radar indicating we've got a severe thunderstorm just moments ago, capable of producing a tornado located over Petersburg, or 18 miles west of Crawfordsville, moving east now at 30 miles per hour. So it has picked up speed here. So moving east at 30 miles per hour. So let's put the tracker on here with this storm here. And so if we're moving east at 30 miles per hour, and let's take a look here where that's going to be. The Hillsborough area in about 6 minutes, Waynetown 16 minutes, Elmdale in about 21 minutes, Wesley in 23 minutes, and Cherry Grove in about 33 minutes if the storm would hold together there. So that's the path here of this storm. So if you're anywhere from New Richmond, Wingate, Linden, Cherry Grove, Manchester, Wesley, Waynetown, and especially Hillsborough, you need to be paying attention to this storm here. We've got some broad rotation, possible tornado, and that's why we've got this tornado warning that does include the city of Petersburg. It looks like the rotation now has passed to the east of Petersburg. Has passed County Road 100 East, Council Street there, and it's over just past US 41. Along 136 or West Main Street and I-74. So if you're anywhere west of Hillsborough, you need to be taking shelter right now. We've got this rotation here that's just there at the intersection there of 41 and 136. It's just passed over that area, moving east at about 30 miles per hour. So think of yourself driving a vehicle along 136 towards the east at 30 miles per hour. That's the speed of this storm right now. With that. And so what I'm going to do here is let's put this radar here in motion and just kind of see the progress of this storm here. So you can see just to the west there over Perrysville starts to develop, all right, and then gets brighter colors just before it gets to the Petersburg area right there with that. And so we'll see maybe there's some cycling going on with this storm here as the storm here continues to move to the east towards the Hillsborough area. With that, I'm going to put this one more time, and so you can kind of see the a little bit of a east-northeast movement to this storm. So if you're anywhere Hillsborough, Wingate, New Richmond area, pay attention to this storm here. This rotation is heading your direction at about 30 miles per hour. And so putting this all together here, let me zoom out here so we can get our bearings straight. So northern Indiana, you're seeing some rain and some thunderstorms and falling here, some heavy rain with that. And then over the White County area, we've got a special weather statement saying the gusty winds can knock down tree limbs and blow around unsecured objects. Minor hail damage to vegetation is also possible here in this area to the west of Logansport. That does include Monticello, Monon, Chalmers, Brookston area. And then we've got another special weather statement here for part of Tippecanoe County, just to the west of West Lafayette. And it includes Attica area. With that, it does include Covington. So this line right here, and this weather statement says, again, gusty winds could knock down some tree limbs, blow around unsecured objects, and minor hail damage to vegetation is possible. So the same weather statement here for this line of storms moving through. In the south end of this storm here, we're watching, just went through the Petersburg area, some rotation here, and that's why we have this tornado warning. Let me go back to the closer radar. That's why I have this tornado warning just to the east of Petersburg, heading towards the Hillsborough area with this storm here. So this tornado warning, if you're in Petersburg, you're in the clear right now from this rotation. So you can get out of your shelter if you're listening to this with that. But if you are in between Petersburg and Hillsborough, this system is over you here. So we'll see what the National Weather Service does with this tornado warning. They're probably going to give it a few minutes here to see if it tightens back up or if it broadens out. And that will determine if there'll be another tornado warning just to the east here that would include likely Hillsborough, Wingate, Wayne-Town area with that. And so we'll watch a few updates here to see how that progresses with that. And so I'm seeing here if we've gotten any new information on this storm here. And so I don't see anything that's fairly new to report here. But we do have some broad rotation now just to the west of Hillsborough. So even though Hillsborough, you're not technically in a tornado warning right now, you've got this rotation heading your direction. So we need to be paying close attention to this. If you know anybody in the Hillsborough area, give them a call real quick. Let them know that we need to be getting ready to take shelter here with this storm heading their direction. And so all I'm going to do here is zoom out just a hair again. And so you can see the hook type of the storm right here. With that, let's take a look at this supercell to see if we've gotten any rotation. Very broad rotation on the southwest side of this storm here. Nothing to worry about right this second. So if you're in the Wayne-Town, State Road 341 area west of Crawfordsville, that storm's developing, but we're not seeing the rotation in there yet with that. And so if you're just to the west of Hillsborough area, you need to be paying close attention here because you are under a tornado warning due to this rotation here. And just so you can kind of see what's going on here, I'm going to zoom out just a hair. All this yellow here, tornado watches, and what you see in red are tornado warnings. And over Huntsville, Alabama, let me show you this real quick here. Over Huntsville, Alabama, there is a tornado emergency in Huntsville, Alabama. Again, we'll get right back to the Indiana here, what we want to focus on here. Confirmed large and destructive tornado there in Huntsville, Alabama area. With that, I'm going to turn on the velocity real quick so we can kind of compare what this looks like now. Okay, and so the Huntsville storm here kind of broadening out, which looks like it's good news there with that. So kind of comparing that to what we're seeing here in northwest central Indiana here that's passed through the Petersburg area, getting close to Hillsborough now, turning the velocity back on with this. And so you can see the rotation here looks like it's moving outside the tornado warning box here with that, which is telling me that the National Weather Service is likely going to let this, it's going to cancel this tornado warning and not extend with another tornado warning. But also they could be just trying to wait last minute here to see how it develops with this storm and see if it's going to recirculate here. So again, we're going to monitor this. Okay, and there it is. Yep. I was just seeing that on our system here. So we do have a brand new tornado warning due to this rotation in the Hillsborough area. You need to be taking shelter right now. This tornado warning and this rotation is right above you. So let's take a look at this new tornado warning here for East Central Fountain County and Northwestern Montgomery County until 8:15. So a little more than 30 minutes away here. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado is located near Petersburg or 15 miles west of Crawfordsville, moving east now at 35 miles per hour. So it is picking up speed here. It's over the Hillsborough area right now. And so 35 miles per hour. So if we put this out here, yeah, get rid of this here. All right. So if we put this out here, let me get rid of this again. I clicked on it again with that. So let's do this here. So 35 miles per hour. Let's see exactly where we're going here. If I could get it right. So around 9 minutes in Elmdale and Cherry Grove at about 19 minutes. In Garfield, Indiana, about 27 minutes here. So we do have this tornado warning here. It does include parts of Montgomery County. Now this rotation is over the Hillsborough area. The Hillsborough area, right in this area right there. We're watching for this rotation, and that's why we have this tornado warning. So it does include Hillsborough, Wingate, New Richmond, Linden, Cherry Grove, Manchester, Garfield, Wesley, Waynestown. You are all part of this tornado warning with that. And so let's take a look here to see if we've gotten any traffic cameras that we can show you here. Not until Crawfordsville, it looks like. That's in Crawfordsville, yeah. With that, and there's not a West Florida, nope. That's State Road 55. All right, so again, over the Hillsborough area, this is where we're watching the rotation right now, where the reds and greens come together with this, and we don't have, unfortunately, don't have any traffic cameras in that area that are visible. And I'm checking here for some updates here with this. And so the storms that are going through Monticello, White County right now and moving eastward to Grass Creek, Royal Center, Star City, Idaville, Logansport. And so a special weather statement's been issued there for a 40-mile-per-hour wind gust. I'm not expecting any hail with that, but we do have this tornado warning that includes Waynestown, Linden, Hillsborough until 8:15 Eastern time. And so this there's about 10,000 people who live within this box here, this rectangle for this tornado warned storm with that. And so let's see here if we've gotten any new information. I'm not seeing anything other than the tornado warning continues here for Fountain and Montgomery counties until 8:15. Until 8:15, a lot of my feeds getting covered up by the tornado emergency in Huntsville, Alabama area with that. And so here's the rotation. Here's the rotation that we're looking at right in this area right there. And so east of Petersburg, all right, north and west of Waynestown. All right, this is the area that we're looking at right now. So it's going through the Hillsborough area. The reds and greens come together. It's getting a little brighter there. So it might, I always forget to turn that back off. So yeah, so we might see it tighten a little bit here. We'll see what happens here in the next few scans as we continue to watch the southern part of this line of storms that are moving through here. So up through Monticello, I'm getting to Lafayette right now, and you can see a supercell here that's probably going to collide with the part of the storm here that has the rotation. And so once that happens, hopefully the rotation then dies out. We'll just, again, have to watch the southern end to see what happens here with this storm. With that, that's now moving into western Crawfordsville, or excuse me, yeah, the western part of Crawfordsville in western Montgomery County with that. And so we do have this tornado warning storm. So zooming out here for Indiana and kind of see where you live with that. So if you're in Fort Wayne right now, nothing's going on. Nothing's going to go on here for another hour or two until this line gets closer to you. We're not expecting severe weather at that time, but you get some heavy rainfall. You can get some lightning and thunder and some wind gusts with these storms as they move through with that. Same with Muncie, Richmond in your area there. Logansport is getting a little bit closer to you right now. So we've got this line of storms moving to the east, northeast there. So getting a little closer to Logansport and Kokomo. Just getting ready to enter the city of Lafayette right now. With that, we do have some storms trying to develop to the west of Indianapolis. With that, I'll go back to closer radar here. And so you can see those storms to the west here of Indianapolis with that. And then we've got some rain, a few embedded thunderstorms, but nothing severe here in far southern Indiana and the Louisville area with that. And so that's what we're looking at right now. We don't expect these storms to be rotating for long. So if you're living, in Logansport, Kokomo, Noblesville, Anderson, Marion, Newcastle, Richmond, we're not expecting much spin in these storms when it gets to your area. We're not ruling it out. Not saying it can't happen, but we're not expecting any kind of widespread issues with rotation as they move eastward here. And so we talked about an hour ago when we had Attica in the tornado warning storm, the first one of the night here in this area. We're looking at that storm, and we're getting a note from the National Weather Service and Storm Prediction Center stating that that was the peak. That was the peak of that we would see the storms rotate here, and then as we progress on, over the next few hours here, the likelihood of rotation is going to decrease as the night moves on here. And so we're continuing to watch this storm here in inflow with this storm here. All right, we got our hook right there. And so this is where we're seeing our rotation, and we're looking at some hail right here. Lost it for a second, and blank on me again. All right, so we got an inflow here. And yeah, keep losing it here. So we got some inflow with that, and so you see some update here. And so this is where the rotation has been with this storm. It's merging together with the storm here to the south. And as this merge takes place, it's likely going to reduce the likelihood that we're going to see rotation here. And even just as I say that, I'm not seeing much rotation here on our velocity scan, our most recent scan here. Let's put it in motion so you can kind of see what it looked like just moments ago. You can see as it moved through Petersburg there, and the last few scans here, it looks like it's really broadened out. So hopefully as it merged here with the storm to the south and is kind of taking that energy away, we're going to see this completely die out here, and hopefully the National Weather Service then would be able to cancel this tornado warning here. So if you're in the Waynetown area between Waynetown and Wingate, the rotation would be getting over this area right now. So it's crossed I-74, moving along just north of I-74, getting right across State Road 25. So if you're familiar with State Road 25 area at Interstate 74, this is where the rotation is. So to the west of Linden, to the west of Cherry Grove, the west of Manchester, they're on 231. So this is where we currently see the rotation right now, but it's really broadened out. So we'll see what happens here in the next couple of scans here with that. So the rotation, let me hit the right button here. So the rotation is right in this area right there, moving to the south of Wingate, getting ready to cross over State Road 25 with that. So that's what we're watching here. And so hopefully this broadens out a little bit, but we'll see in the next couple of scans that maybe it's tightening up a little bit or redeveloping, and it could redevelop in a different portion here of this supercell that's moving through the area right now. So getting into Montgomery County with that. So this tornado warning does include the north side of Crawfordsville. So if you're anywhere, trying to see here, Oak Hill Road with that, and North Drive, Risner Street. If you're north of that, you're part of this tornado warning. So just a small part there of Crawfordsville, but Manchester, Cherry Grove, Linden, Garfield, New Richmond, you're part of this tornado warned storm here with that. So you're under a tornado warning with this. And so along Interstate 74, all right, North Slate Road 25, State Road 25, North State Road 25, if I could say it right, with this. And so this is where we're seeing that possible rotation in this area here. So we're west of Elmdale, just to the north of Waynetown, State Road 25 and I-74. So we'll continue to watch here to see the velocity, the reds and greens coming together there. Again, it's broadening out just a hair. I'm checking here to see if we've gotten any new information with this here. And they've downgraded the Huntsville tornado warning storm to just a regular tornado warning. So it's not great news, but it's better news than what it was a little bit ago here with that. And so for tonight, we'll still have widespread showers and storms this evening. All right, the convection is going to diminish here as the night comes. With that, a few storms are going to be severe. All right, we're seeing that here tonight. We've got a few severe storms there. We could have some damaging wind gusts, some large hail. Isolated tornadoes are still possible here. Localized flooding, also a possibility with these storms here. And with that. And so we do, for the rest of the week here, we do have some light rain chances tomorrow. and during the day on Thursday as well. For the next 2 days, we're going to see below normal temperatures for quite a while now. We're going to see for several days ahead for at least through the end of this week into next week. We're going to see some below normal temperatures. So it's going to feel cooler outside with that. And the trend right now for Sunday, for those going to the Indianapolis 500, the trend right now is rain chances are increasing for Sunday. But it's something, again, we're just at Tuesday right now that we need to time out here. But some of the models are indicating rain on Sunday. And so we'll need to pay attention to that here with that. And so again, we're still seeing rotation. Now north of Waynetown here, seeing some rotation here as it gets closer to US 231, just north of Interstate 70. Again, north of Waynetown. It'll be north and west of Crawfordsville right now and west of Darlington. So we're still seeing this rotation, some broad rotation on the radar. Not getting any reports of any tornadoes on the ground. Not even getting reports of seeing any rotation right now with these storms. This is radar indicated. So the National Weather Service continues the tornado warning here. That includes parts of Fountain and Montgomery counties until 8:15 tonight. Also, besides the possible rotation, we've got 1 inch in diameter hail with these storms as well with that. And so I think we might have gotten an update here. And there it is. Yes, so 754 severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located 10 miles east of Petersburg or 11 miles northwest of Crawfordsville, moving east at 30 miles per hour. And so I'm going to zoom in here so we can get our bearings straight. So to the west of Cherry Grove, to the south of Wingate, we see this rotation here. And as it moves to the east here, I'm going to say it's going to pick up a hair speed, here with that. So around 10 minutes in Cherry Grove, Darlington area, in about 19 to 22 minutes, and Bowers in about 26 minutes. So it's not a heavily populated area, but that doesn't mean there's nobody there, and it doesn't mean that's going to cause damage or not. But what it does mean is that people's lives can be affected from this storm right here. And so if you're in this area where this tornado warning is taking place right now, you need to be taking shelter because we do still see rotation on radar. All right, this is a radar indicated tornado warning storm here. So Elmdale area, Cherry Grove need to be taking shelter right now as this rotation gets close to you with this storm here. And so if you're just tuning in, here, thank you for joining with that. We've got some quite a bit of, I do this every time, quite a bit of showers going on in northern Indiana, some thunderstorms in there, some lightning in there. So if you had a sectional track meet tonight, girls track meet starting tonight in a lot of areas across the state, you're seeing a lot of rain and lightning, likely postponed for the night with that. If you're in the Lafayette area, you're at the brunt of the storm. So you got this line of storms moving through right now. So from Lafayette to the Crawfordsville area, especially north of Crawfordsville and northwest of Crawfordsville to Attica. It's been a rain out for you tonight. So if you had a softball game, a baseball game, like I said, a state track meet tonight, whatever the case might be, it's probably rained out, probably postponed for tonight. Got a lot of rain. We've got winds. We've got some large hail in some certain areas there, and quite a bit of lightning around as well with these storms here. If you are in the Indianapolis area, all right, you've got some storms that have popped up here just to your west, getting ready to enter into Hendricks County. So again, if you're outdoors and doing some kind of events, sporting event, whatever it might be, Brownsburg, Danville, Plainfield, Mooresville, just to your west, you've got some storms here. The southern part, it looks like we've got some lightning in the Cloverdale area, north and west of Martinsville with that. But these storms are going to move in here to Danville, Plainfield, Mooresville, Brownsburg here over the next 30 to 45 minutes with that. So if you've got outdoor plans, try to get those wrapped up here pretty soon as these storms continue to move slowly to the east with that. And so these storms in southern Indiana is what I was getting at next with that. So just quite a bit of rain falling here in far southern Indiana in the Louisville area. It's kind of sat here for a little bit. It seems like we've been talking about that for the last couple of hours as we've been monitoring these together here on Facebook and on YouTube with that. And so we're really, again, focused on this storm right here. So we're seeing kind of that merger between the two storms that's taken place here with that. So let's turn the velocity back on because you don't see that hook like we once did. And hopefully that means that we're going to broaden some things out right here. So again, we're going to continue to watch this over the next few scans here of radar and see exactly what happens here with this. And so I'm going to actually go back to the regular rail, the reflectivity here. Let's put this in motion so you can kind of see what I'm talking about with this. So this storm right here is now merged in with the part of the storm that had the tornado warning right there. And you can see how it merges together here. These two storms have merged together right there, and see how this develops and see if rotation develops then on the backside of this, on the bottom of this storm here south of Waynetown, and see what happens here that could affect the Crawfordsville area, the Darlington area over the next several minutes here. And so that's something that we're going to watch here. If we take a look at the velocity on the same thing here, let's put this into motion so you can see here's the reds and greens together with that. But you see it gets very broad here. It was tight, bright, now very broad here. It's still bright with the green, all right, but not with the red here. And so I think with this storm here, the storm merging together, I think that's going to really help take out this rotation from the storm. And like I said, we're going to have to watch the new southern part of the storm to see how that develops there. So we're going to continue to watch this over the next few minutes here, and we'll see what the National Weather Service determines as well as these storms have merged together with that. We don't have any severe thunderstorm warnings right now, which is great news. We're just expecting, kind of like we did this morning in the afternoon hours, some good old-fashioned spring thunderstorms with that. So some heavy rainfall, some lightning, all right, you might get a little bit of winds, some 40 or so miles per hour with these storms. Hail's not out of the question with that, but right now we don't have any severe weather with that. But I am watching the storms here to the west of Indianapolis. We're starting to see a little bit more lightning with these storms. So we've got this cluster of storms here. We've got this line of storms right here, just to the north and west of Indianapolis. And so these will continue to move through here, and we'll see some development, if I could draw correctly, some possible development back here in Illinois of these storms here. And so that's one of the things I am going to check real quick. I'm going to watch the development of these storms, and that way you can kind of see where you're located to see what's going to happen in your area tonight. So let me pull this up here with that. And so we're at 8 o'clock here with that, and let me share this here on your screen so you can kind of see. Let's move it over to the HRRR model here. So this is what we're looking at now. So we got some storms starting to fire up here. And this particular model doesn't show a whole lot of development between now and overnight. And so about 11 o'clock tonight, so this will be 11 o'clock tonight, that storm's over Indianapolis, Muncie, Fort Wayne area. So it's slowly moving to the east. So a couple more hours or 3 more hours up to this point here with that. And then as we get to midnight, it's now in eastern Indiana, and it should be out as we were talking about in our Facebook post recently here. It'll probably be about 2 o'clock in the morning when it's all said and done with this. But we're not expecting any kind of severe weather with this. Again, is it possible that there might be 1 or 2 severe thunderstorm warnings? Yes, of course, but not likely as we get into nighttime here. So we're continuing to follow this tornado warning. Here. Let's see if we got a kind of an update here with this. So yes, there it is. So severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located 8 miles northwest of Crawfordsville, moving east at 30 miles per hour. So the National Weather Service about 2 minutes ago still says they're seeing that rotation, possible enough rotation here that could produce a tornado at any second here, here north and west of Crawfordsville. So west of Cherry Grove, Manchester, Linden area. We're also seeing some of that pink, purplish color there over the Waynetown area with this storm here, indicating probably getting into the hail and winds with this storm, but there's no severe thunderstorm warning with it. So not up to the severe level there, but you're probably getting some small hail and some wind gusts along with that. And so here's where we're still looking now, North 400 West area west of Cherry Grove. This is where we're still seeing the rotation right now. It's holding on. This rotation's holding on here. And so we're continuing to watch this rotation here. And we can see it over the last several minutes here. Kind of got more broad and then kind of coming back together just a hair right now. And we'll see again over the next several scans here, the trend here of what's going to happen with this storm here with that. And so again, just to the north of Crawfordsville in Montgomery County is where we have this tornado warning. This tornado warning here to last for 11 more minutes with that. And we'll stay with you as long as we have this tornado warning here with that. What I want to do, if we can, I'm going to move over because we're getting some questions about Sunday, and I get that, but we'll also have a tornado warning going on here with that. And so, but I do want to show you what we're looking at. All right. So let me switch over here back to the HRRR for just a second here and kind of see what we're going on. So this is Saturday at 8 o'clock, Saturday night, 8 o'clock into Sunday morning here. And you can see some rainfall coming in. This is 5 a.m. on Sunday morning. All right, this is 8 a.m. on Sunday morning. You see southern Indiana in the rain with that. And then once you get to 11 a.m., the rain's starting to really clear out of the state with that. And then it looks dry after that throughout the rest of the day on Sunday. So that's the European model here. That's not the HRRR, I'm sorry. That's the European model. If we go to the American model, here, okay, this is Saturday. This is Saturday at 8 o'clock. Okay, and we get into Sunday morning here. So this is 5 a.m. All right, this is 8 a.m. All right, this is 11 a.m. You see the heaviest of the rain, southern Indiana. This shows a little bit more rain throughout the rest of the state here. Then we get to 2 o'clock. It's drying out there, 5 o'clock, drying out, and then rain returns by 8 o'clock at night there. So you can see how we're still a little unsure just based on the models of what we're looking at Saturday. And it's a very important day for a lot of people who attend the Indianapolis 500 in Speedway, Indiana there, and know that the rain is a possibility. And the trend right now is showing more rain in the southern half of Indiana. But again, whenever there's rain around and we're this many days out, we've got to really fine tune the forecast as we get a little bit closer here to it. So hopefully the weather holds and we just have a nice, it's going to be a cool day. We do know that for sure. High temperatures in the 60s. And so when the gates open, when you're getting to the track there, temperatures likely in the upper 40s is what it's looking at right now. So a very cool race day. It'll start out as a cold morning with that, and then we'll have to watch here for possible rain, especially Sunday morning, getting into the afternoon hours, and then again Sunday evening. So let's take a look at the velocity again. Let's see if we got an update. Okay, so it's really broadened out here. So that's great news. That's really broadened out. Again, I'm going to watch the south end of this cluster here to the west, southwest of Crawfordsville to see if we've got some development here. Hopefully, the atmosphere is saying, we're done. We're done with this, okay, with that. But we're going to have to really pay attention here on this south side of the storm here. Specifically, I'm watching down in this area right here to the west of Crawfordsville with that to see if we've gotten if we'll get any redevelopment here with some rotation enough that could put down a tornado, causing a tornado warning with that. Okay, and as we say that, the tornado warning has now been canceled. The tornado warning has been canceled with that. And so let me, the tornado warning canceled here with that. So we'll continue to monitor this. So that's great news. We'll continue to monitor this here with these storms as they move through very slowly. And again, we got kind of a training motion here too, as these storms just continue to run over the same area for a long time here. And as you know, with any kind of weather radar, the reds mean some really heavy downpours of rain there. So we might be seeing some flash flooding issues in a few areas as well, as this line here just develops to the back here and continues just moving to the northeast over each other, or over storm after storm after storm. So if you're in this area, you're probably like, what is going on? This heavy rain is not stopping at all with that. And so some of you up in northwest Indiana thinking the same thing. What's going on? And it's continuing to rain, and it's not letting up here. So some heavy rain taking place here from Winnemac to Monon, Rensselaer, back to Wolcott area with that. So no tornado warnings right now. No tornado warnings. That's good. There's no severe thunderstorm warnings anywhere in Indiana. We do have the tornado watch for another 51 minutes as this line continues to move eastward here. Hopefully that's the last you'll hear from me tonight with that. But if we do have another tornado warning, we'll jump back on here as needed with that. But we're not anticipating anything significant to happen for the rest of the night here, as this warm front does continue to lift to the north a little bit farther here. Storms develop, but as we get into the nighttime here, we're going to see these storms just continue to move eastward, and there'll be some good old-fashioned thunderstorms and rain and so forth. So appreciate you joining us tonight, and stay safe out there. Be weather aware, but again, it looks like some good old-fashioned thunderstorms that will be moving through.